I am Maria Narvaez, and we are at 2233 Thornton Court, Alexandria, Louisiana, 71301, and this is our home. We have lived here for 9 years. We have family that live in the Garden District, and we wanted to be close to them, and our children went to schools in the Garden District, so it was just what we wanted to be.
Tell me a little bit about the house.
The house has a lot of character. I love it. It's kind of unique. We bought it from Sid and what was his
McDaniel.
name? McDaniel, yes. Yeah. Something interesting about the house is my son was friend with the previous owner's son.
Oh.
He was actually one of his very first friends when we moved here. He always told me that I would love this house, and I had never been in it. He always told me when he came up in the market, he was like, you would love it, and I bought it without even walking in. The McDaniels raised their children here. His friend was the last one still at home.
So they were like you guys in that they kind of they had a whole lifespan here.
A whole lifespan here, yes.
Yeah.
My husband and I have been married for 32 years. We were high school sweethearts. Dated for 4 years, got married for 32 now. 32 is December. We have 3 children, and we have a total of 4 grandchildren. They're always here. This is like Central Station something. It's where everybody comes, change, make time until the next activity during the day because it's so centrally located. They leave work and come here, and it's close to everything, and they live like 20 minutes away, so anytime they're having their children have activities in town, or they have activities in town, this is like Central Station. They just come in, everybody has a key, and it's just still La Casa, what we call that. It's the house. It's still pretty much filled with business and
life,
coming and going in life, yeah. We do Christmas Eve instead of Christmas Day. It's a more important celebration for us as Hispanics. So it doesn't interfere with their waking up at Christmas morning, you know, more of the American tradition. So that's been a big deal over here. Christmas always happens here. I have a lot of nativity sets,
yeah,
and I set them around the house, and I have the babies separate. So on Christmas Eve, at midnight, when we pray at midnight, the kids help me put all the babies into the cradles because they were born.
Hi, I'm Dr. Henry Robertson. I'm an Associate Professor of History at Louisiana College.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Well, we're here this afternoon because I've been doing some research on your house here. I've found out some fascinating things, Maria.
Okay.
I have a document here that's the 1930 United States Federal Census, and it says that in 1930, Jamerson M. Lattimore lived in this home. He was 50 years old, and Lattimore was a lumberman. It's really fascinating that they list the occupation here, and so he was a lumberman. He owned the house, and the house was worth $8,000 in 1930, wow, which was a considerable sum of money. Yeah. He was a self-taught man. It says he didn't attend school, but he could read and write. He didn't have a radio set here, which means that he was not as well off as others. But in 1930, a lumberman would have been an important job here in Alexandria because you still had that longleaf pine all around, and there were railroads being built out to the forest that were being cut down for, you know, millions of board feet that would be shipped to the rest of the country. And if you look on this as well, he was married, you know, and he was originally from Arkansas, it looks like. And if you turn it over here, it says that he was here age 50. His wife, Deli, was 40, and he had a 14-year-old, looks like daughter, that lived here as well in 1930. But I think that's one of the neatest things about it is you get to see, and you can imagine a young family in a growing town of Alexandria. Yeah. The lumber industry was booming, and it was providing lumber, you know, millions of board feet to other homes. Awesome. But look, this is just the start of it, Maria. If you trace the history on up, in the 1950s, this house was owned by Gus Kaplan. Oh. And Gus Kaplan was one of the most prominent businessmen here in the community. I believe he had come over from Mississippi. Yeah. He was a Jewish businessman, right. And Mr. Kaplan employed a lot of people here. in this community for generations. You have a mezuzah up there, yes. Well,
Yeah.
that's really fascinating. That's from his time, probably in the 1950s, early 1960s when he was here with his family. It's kind of fascinating, Maria, because when he passed away just a few years ago, a number of people left memories of him. And one of the gentlemen who left a memory had worked at the clothing store while he was an LSUA student. I know you had been at LSUA, so you can imagine that the man who lived here employed students and others who got their start in the community. And there were quite a number of Jewish businessmen with clothing stores and other businesses, because it was reflective of, you know, Louisiana still having, you know, the river traffic, railroad traffic, and other transportation means that brought people from all over the country and all over the world to this growing community. So you had Gus Kaplan living here, and then, you know, the lumberman, and so it's really reflective of the great, you know, growth of the middle class here. So what do you really love about this house, Maria?
What I love about this house, I think it's got a lot of character. It's solid.
Yeah. The lumberman lived here.
There's not only the hardwood, but the doors. You know, they're pretty unique features to the house. I love the layout, that it still has a formal living room.
That's right.
You know, we enjoy for the holidays. This is where we do Christmas and all that.
But you're absolutely right to have a formal living room with a fireplace and a dining room and then a kitchen, you know, bedrooms. It's how America used to be. The Americana was that place of more formal rooms towards the entrance where you could bring in company, and then more private rooms towards the back.
Where there was time for entertainment.
Yes, that's right.
People did socialize.
That's right.
And that's what I grew up with in Guatemala. You have formal quarters and you have the more private ones, and nobody understands why I don't have a TV in this room, because it's just our formal place. You know, we don't do TV here.
Right. And of course, in the 1930s, you wouldn't have had television, and the lumberman didn't have a radio set, so it was visiting with each other and reading. And you have a wonderful array of beautiful windows for natural light.
Yes,
you know, that brings that in, so you wouldn't have to spend much on electricity. And of course, you had all the city services. That was one of the great advantages of living in Alexandria. You would eventually have electricity and water and, you know, sewer and other things that you wouldn't have had on the countryside. So have you done any renovations or work, or what do you
we have done, we have we redid a little bit of the apartment in the back. We of course painted, did some sheetrock. We redid a bathroom. That's pretty much it.
Well, Maria also did some research and found out that Thornton Court opened as a new suburban development in 1921. So the road was laid out as a court. It, in its original creation, ended right up here at Oxford Street. And it was not until 1926 they actually opened it to Oxford Street. That's why there's this strange curve there, because this was supposed to be a court. You come into it, you have one way in, one way out. Now,
please come to the tour and join us to celebrate our end of the year festivities and have a glimpse at our home.